Hills Cemetery in Ogallala, Nebraska. Oh, yay. Remains of prehistoric American Indians and 1800 pioneers interred here. I gotta look up that word. Webster, 1875. They accept donations here. One of the most mysterious graves on Boot Hill is that of Sarah Miller, whose original burial spot is now surrounded by a wrought iron fence. Sarah was the 24-year-old wife of local rancher Bernard Miller. She died in childbirth August 2nd, 1878, 100 years before me, and was buried on Boot Hill. She remained buried on the hill until 1891, when records report that her body was exhumed for reburial at the new cemetery west of town. According to local legend, the gravedigger reported that her body was petrified and she showed no signs of decay, although all that remained of her child was a pile of bones in her arms. It was even said that the petrified body was so heavy a derrick was used to exhume it. A story of how the petrified woman did appear in a 1935 edition of Keith County News. However, locals said the gravedigger had a reputation of being a teller of tall tales. Stories of petrified women bodies were common hoaxes in America in that era. None were ever scientifically documented. Oh, we'll have to look at her. Ooh, always got to have a ghost story. Unknown. Unknown. February 23rd, 1800. Alice West, December 1882. Make sure I'm not skipping any. I got a couple over there. Gertrude Fisher. Kind of scared me. Patrick Carroll, 1879. Amos Black, December 16th, 1875. We'll get closer to that horse in a minute. Wow, this is going to be a long video. I skipped one over here. So this is Cheyenne Indian. Cheyenne Indian. October 1878. Welcome to America. But this story doesn't talk about that. Just Joe Hughes and his wife and their baby next to a Cheyenne American. Ow! I got stabbed. Michael, 1880. Oh, he's on the other side. Oh, they're on the other side of the trail. Sweet. This is actually a trail you can walk through, obviously. Here looks like we have family. Southard, Jasper Southard, 1800. Rawson, oh, I can't see it. Ed Worley, August 1884. That's pretty cool. Ouch. Keep getting stabbed. George Orman, 1880. Maybe it's not a family. Nothing. You tell me there's a cemetery, I'm going. Uh-oh. Getting warm. Unknown cowboy to senior ramp. Oh, here we go. It's perfect for me. Mystery of Boot Hill. I should have started with this one. In August of 1978, one of Ogalla's most famous mysteries reared its head into the collective minds of residents. Beginning in the 1960s, the area of Boot Hill had been owned by resident rector Searle, unable to sell lots from the former cemetery gifted land to Ogallala. A large portion of the original cemetery was restored, and streets began to develop its houses and dotting the once somber site. On the northwest edge of the cemetery, Hobart Brown, an excavator, unknowingly dug up the remains of a human grave during a construction project. Brown began taking the dirt to a site on the edge of town, quickly noticing fragments of wood, cloth, and what appeared to be remains of human bones. Police Chief Ward Green and a crew arrived back at the edge of the cemetery after being notified of Brown. The police began sifting through the excavation. Green and his officers uncovered a coffin lid with the letter W inscribed on it, and the boot heels and a handkerchief with the name Craig Waxman embroidered on it. Just below Craig Waxman's grave, 2 more graves were quickly uncovered. 2 days later, a 4th was also discovered. The city quickly contacted UNL's anthropology department under the eye of Dr. Richard McWilliams. The 2 graves discovered after Waxman's appeared to be drovers off the trail buried in mahogany, redwood, or cedar coffins. The bodies were wearing brown wool suits. The 4th grave appeared to be that of a woman, although many features appeared to be masculine. It was finally agreed that the 4th body was that of a male. Following an in-depth analysis by UNL, many local historians began to speculate the bodies had been in fact the bodies of 4 cowboys buried in July of 1879 following a bloody gunfight. The wounds studied by Lincoln appeared to match the death description of later cowboys. After the initial incident, interest in Boot Hill began to speak as many locals began to understand that the hill still held bodies and secrets from Ogallala's days at the end of Texas Trail. The location of these graves was located to the north of this spot near the metal building. After an in-depth analysis from Lincoln, bodies were sent back to Ogallala and buried just under the current flagpole. Could there still be bodies scattered in the undeveloped lots to the north? Only time will tell. We'll start a new one.